Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this really cute elephant. It's a great beginner's project, a little stuffed animal, a really fun project to do, even great for your kids to do. So let's get started. Here is the product that I am using. It's called Poly-fil Premium Polyester Fiber Fill. I purchased the 16-ounce size bag because the pattern is on the back of this bag, but it only is on the large bag of the Poly-fil. On the back, not only is the pattern, but also the instructions. It says that you will need 1/3 of yard of fabric for this puffy elephant. But I'm going to do my ears on the elephant a different color. So if you want to do that, you would need an additional 1/8 of a yard. The fabric that I'm using is from the Magic Moon collection, and it is sold at Joann Fabric and Crafts. You can probably also get this elephant fabric on their website, joann.com. The Poly-fil was purchased at Walmart. It was very inexpensive for this large bag. It was, I think, a little over $7, and it includes the pattern. All right, so here is my fabric. Now, these elephants are going in a specific nap. There's lines of elephants. So when you lay out your pattern, if your fabric has a nap, if you're making it out of a plaid or other kind of stripes, make sure you lay your pattern out correctly. What you have to do with your fabric when you get it is make sure, of course, you press it out, but you also want to bring the front sides of your fabric together. So flip it around and bring those front sides, bring the selvages together, and then you're ready to lay out your pattern. One of the things that I found that was helpful when you're pinning this pattern onto your fabric is because this is plastic and you're trying to pin it down, it slips and slides a lot. So to keep it from getting distorted and stretching in the wrong way, I recommend you put a pin up here at the top first, then go straight down and put a pin down here to stabilize it so it won't keep shifting and stretching in the wrong direction. Then go ahead and place pins around the remaining edges. Now on your pattern you'll see some different lines. This dash line is where you will not stitch over. So to make sure you don't stitch on this, take a pencil or fabric marker and underneath on the fabric put marks there so that you know this is where you will not stitch. Also, right in here is your area that you're going to put the ears on. So remember, you're going to have to do that before you stitch your elephant together. Now, here is the fabric that I am using for the ears. Remember, I decided that I do not want my ears to be the same color as this fabric. And remember, if you want it all the same color, there's plenty of room here to cut your ears out on that 1/3 yard of fabric. So what I did was I took the fabric that I want for the ears, brought right sides together. And because I want to cut both sets of ears out at the same time, I folded it in half. Then take your pattern and pin it down. Also, you've got dash lines here. So remember, you're not going to stitch this end closed. So go ahead and cut your pattern out, and then you're ready for the next step. I want to add one more little step on the ears because as I was working with it, I find I really didn't like how it looked. So what I did was, to give the ears a little more body, I've cut out cotton batting. So all I did was take a piece, folded it in half, placed my pattern on there, and cut out 2 pieces of the cotton batting. The next thing you want to do is cut a little bit off the bottom. You see where this stitch line is here on the bottom of the ears. Just lift that up and you're going to cut that much off. So I just folded this back and trimmed it off. All right. Then what you want to do is you're going to take your two pieces for each ear. Remember, they're front sides together. Place the cotton batting on top and then stitch 1/4 inch starting from here, right at the bottom edge of the cotton batting. Stitch that 1/4 inch all the way around and stop right here. And do several stitches back and forth here and here, because it's really tight when you go to turn this inside out. Then before you turn it front side out, do some little snips around these curved areas. Remember, do not get so close you cut your stitches, because this will all come apart. And then where it dips in here, remember on this pattern, it has a dip. Just do a little snip going straight in. Remember, don't get too close to the stitch line. Then reach inside and turn this front side out. Okay, now here's one that's all done. So you want to go inside with something, maybe this will fit in there, and smooth out all of your edges. Poke them out, really good. Then that lower edge, all I did was fold it inside. And then I went to the ironing board, because this was pretty wrinkled by the time I got it all turned front side out, is that I gave it a nice, good pressing on both sides. All right, so now you're ready to attach it to your elephant. Now you're going to flip your fabric in just one piece at a time, one layer. Have the front side of your fabric up, because we're going to put the ear on the outside of the fabric. So take your pattern and place it on top. Line up all of the edges. And remember this area here. This marks the area where the ear is going to go on. And this is the part where you're going to stitch on, right on this line here. So take your ear and just place it inside of there for a moment, just right on top of the pattern. Then take the ear and flip it to where the other side is now down. Now, line up your pattern and then unfold one section of it and push that ear in there, okay? Close the pattern over the top, line up the ear, and place it just on the inside edge of that dotted line. Then, take the pattern away, go ahead and place a straight pin to hold it together. Now you're going to stitch right here, very, very, very close to that edge. And stitch back and forth a few times at each end, because you don't want the ear to be pulled off. So once you stitched it on, here's a piece where it's stitched on. And this is what it would be like. My stitches are right here, real, real close. Then go to your ironing board and press, flip it over, and then press. So push the ear this way towards the inside of the elephant body, and press with your iron, and then turn it over, and then press on the back here, so you get it nice and stable. All right, so now when you have both ears stitched on, take your two sides of the elephant and bring the front sides together of your fabric pieces and begin lining it up. I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, now remember on your pattern I told you to mark where you're going to have that opening. So I've got a mark here and here. So place pins at each end of those marks and continue pinning around all of the edges. Now get your edges all lined up really nice. Then you're going to stitch starting here at the first mark. you're going to stitch 1/4 inch in from this raw edge here and stitch down. Now when you get to the bottom of the leg or the foot, stop when you get 1/4 inch away. Stop 1/4 inch away. Leave your needle down, lift up your presser foot, turn your elephant, stitch towards the other corner. When you get 1/4 inch away from over here, leave your needle down, lift up the presser foot, turn the elephant, and begin stitching around. Now when you stitch around curves, you want to go kind of slow because you want a nice curve. Continue stitching all the way around. Now here it dips down, so you want to stitch along here 1/4 inch, and when your needle is even to where this dip is, stop, lift up the presser foot, needles should be down, turn your elephant, and continue stitching along. And when you get down here to this next mark, stop. Now remember to do several stitches back and forth at each end of the opening so that when you turn it front side out, it's not going to pull apart. And also during the stuffing process, it won't pull apart. So go ahead, put your ears on, and stitch the outer edge of the elephant. After you've stitched all around the edges, except for this opening, remember to leave this open, take a small pair of sharp scissors, and you're going to trim a little bit of fabric off of the corners at the bottom of the feet. But remember, don't cut too much off, just leave a little bit there. Then along all of the curved areas, all along here, all the way around the trunk, and up the top of the elephant, do little snips. Now, don't cut too close to the stitches. Just stay back just a little ways, so don't make them too deep. The reason why you want to do these little snips around there is that when you turn it front side out, the edges will lay nice and smooth. So go ahead and turn your elephant front side out. Now you're going to put the polyfill stuffing into the elephant. Now inside of the bag, you might have to search for it, is a stick that you can use to help fill in the legs and the trunk. Now you want to use small amounts to push into the legs and the trunk area. Remember, small amounts. Don't try to use great big lumps of it because you'll just have all kinds of problems. When you're pushing it in, you can use this stick to go down there and push it into those corners. Also into the trunk area. Once you have these 3 areas filled in, then you want to go to the head of the elephant, begin stuffing it in. Again, still using small amounts because it'll come out much smoother, working your way back to the tail end. After you've got everything all stuffed, then you want to take your raw edges and fold them in 1/4 inch on both sides. You want a little fold line there to use as the guide. Then use a slip stitch or ladder stitch, it's the same thing, to close up the opening. Now if you're not familiar with that stitch, it's a very simple stitch. Go to the link that's up in the upper right hand corner of your screen, and it'll take you to a short video that goes into great detail on how to do the ladder stitch. Now because of a right hand disability, I'm unable to demonstrate it for you because it would be painfully slow for you to watch me do it. So go ahead and close up your opening, and I'll be right back. After you have finished your slip stitch down here at the buttocks area of the elephant, you might find it a little baggy in here. So one of the things you could do is take a straight pin, a long straight pin, stick it in there and begin to work your stuffing towards that area. Another thing you can do is just pinch and massage the stuffing until it fills in up there. So this is a nice introduction to making stuffed animals and stuffed dolls. If you liked this video, click on thumbs up. Also, click on share to share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, click on that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to enter your email address and click on the little bell so that you will receive an email notice on my newest video. See you next time, and happy sewing!